Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I'm Andy Signorn. While the hunt for Brian Laundrie has ended, the pursuit for answers continues. And this interview that happened last night on ABC News was very telling. Now, the lawyer, Steve Bertolino, has been all over the news this past evening, going out there saying more about what the Laundries were doing. Look, I do agree with Steve here in that we shouldn't be outside picketing their house. They've just lost a son. We have to have some compassion for that. But, I know a lot of us are still very angry as to why they were silent. Why did they lawyer up? What was Brian doing? Did they know? And this clip from ABC News is the first time where I really feel like we're getting a sign of the truth. And I think he slipped up here. Now, I want to play this in its entirety, but it's really at the end of this. So pay close attention. Here's the full clip in the context to give you a little bit of a recap, but then we will talk.
Identified today, and now tonight, a new revelation about the last time Brian's parents saw their son.
New details, but the same old questions not yet answered. Here's Eyewitness News reporter Kristen Thorne.
Around 5:30 Thursday evening, police arrived at the home of Chris and Roberta Laundrie to inform them their son Brian's remains had been positively identified.
His parents are a mess. They're extremely upset. They're extremely distraught is the word I've been using, but I don't think that accurately describes it.
Stephen Bertolino, the attorney for the Laundries and a longtime family friend of theirs on Long Island, says Brian's dad Wednesday discovered a bag belonging to Brian near a trail Brian used to hike. The FBI says that area of the Carlton Reserve near the Laundries' home had previously been underwater.
When he did find it, there was in some sense, a relief, like, okay, here it is. What we've been saying that Brian is here, here it is. We told you he was here.
Law enforcement sources tell Eyewitness News that the remains found nearby there Wednesday are skeletal remains. They say clothing was also recovered along with a backpack and a notebook belonging to Brian. The FBI Denver field office said in a tweet Thursday that a comparison of dental records confirmed the remains belong to Brian.
Do you believe Brian killed himself?
I don't have a belief one way or the other. We're going to wait till we have more information from the medical examiner's office, which I'm told we may have some information tomorrow afternoon.
Gabby Petito's family did not want to speak to the media after receiving the news. Their attorney said in a statement to Eyewitness News, Gabby's family is not doing interviews or making a statement at this time. They are grieving the loss of their beautiful daughter. Bertolino says Brian's parents had feared when Brian left their home September 13th, 12 days after arriving home without his fiancée, that he may hurt himself.
Chris and Roberta knew that their son Brian was grieving. They knew he was so upset, and they just couldn't control that he was leaving, and he left. He walked out the door, and Chris has said to me, I wish I could have stopped him, but I couldn't.
In East Islip, Kristen Thorne, Channel.
So upset, and they knew he
hurt himself.
This is the
Chris and Roberta knew that their son Brian was grieving. They knew he was so upset.
Grieving about what? Now, look, I like to be honest here. I like to play all sides. It's true. He could be grieving about the loss of the relationship. He could have said, he could have told the parents. Well, we broke up. We had a fight. And he was sad and it's over. But to be grieving and so upset days later, did they assume that Gabby was missing too? Guys, I tried to give the Laundries the benefit of the doubt. I try to, because I'm a human. I know we're all human. I can't imagine the loss of a son, a child. It's the worst. I'm angry at the Laundries. Don't get me wrong. I'm trying to understand the defense, the reason, what could have justified not telling the Petitos. I'm having trouble, guys. I'm having trouble, because if they're telling the truth, right? If they're like, you know what? Oh yeah, Gabby, I didn't do it. I didn't murder Gabby. Well, then why wouldn't they have spoken to the Petitos? Why would they have lawyered up? These are the questions that are why we are so frustrated with them. You know what I mean? So to see this and hear him actually finally admit that he was grieving, he was so upset about what? About what? That's a slip to me that I don't know if he meant to go there, and I don't see enough people jumping on it. Grieving about what? That grieving could mean a loss of a lot of things. Grieving doesn't always mean death, right? It doesn't, but it's a strong word choice he chose. And he's out there talking a lot. which I don't know why. I don't know why. I guess over the parents. I wish someone would ask them, are the parents asking you to do this? Are you doing this? Why are you talking so much right now? Because they apparently want to be quiet. But to come out like this and say grieving, man, that sums it up for me. I mean, it's also, you got to remember these parents when they were looking for their son. Where's Brian? It's not a good look. And as this even tweet, I absolutely love screwed up the attorney's chance of holding the cooperative father desperate to find his fugitive son. A laughing session caught on camera. Look, these guys have been anything but grieving. They've been angry. They've been defensive. They've been quiet. They've been running out to get signs to that implicit what if it was Cassie? They are out there removing Gabby's signs, but they're grieving. Now, this was before. Did they know that he was gone? There's so many questions as to what they knew, and I will going to go through this full interview. The attorney did a 20-minute interview with News Nation. We're going to watch that today on our live stream. We're live every day, weekdays at 12 Eastern Standard Time, noon. And I want to play this quick clip because he's angry. This lawyer gets angry and he starts yelling at the newscaster. And kudos to the newscaster for pressing him a little harder in this interview than before. But here's a little taste.
And do you really think the Laundries had skeletal remains of their son, in a plastic bag and brought them to the preserve? Do you realize how ludicrous that is? How aggravating, how maddening it is to even hear those things? And the fact that it's being put out there by the press as well? That's where my level of frustration and anger is coming from. Maybe somebody with a platform should step up and say, hey, knock it off. This is just silly. So if I'm the only one who has to say that this is hogwash because I didn't want to say the word bullshit, then I'm going to say it. It's bullshit. And I'm sorry if John Q. Public doesn't get that.
There's so much more fiery stuff from Steve. We're going to watch that. I'll put the clip I'll put it at the end. You can join our stream and watch that part. But he's angry. He's angry. And look, I'm going to go through and give you all my thoughts on this and everything else that he's been out there saying. But I really wanted to focus on that. Again, to end on this.
And was grieving. They knew he was so upset.
I want to leave that with you. What do you think? Does that make you even more frustrated with the Laundries? That they knew he was grieving and so upset? About what? About what? Why did they lawyer up? Why didn't they call back the Petitos? Because he was grieving. He was so upset. About what? About what? I need to hear the answers before I can really just be like, okay, Laundries, yeah, it's that's everything. They knew. They knew and they said nothing. And there's a whole discussion there of if you knew your son did it, what do you tell right then and there? Send your kid to jail? Yeah, I would. Honestly, I would. I've thought about it a lot. It would be a tough call, but I'd want my son to learn, my kids to learn and to pay the price because that's important. What did they know? That is the most pressing question right now. Why didn't they say anything? Wouldn't have changed Gabby, it seems. Gabby's, that was, the Moab police might have been able to save something there, but what do you guys think of this quote? We have lots more to go through, so I hope you'll join us at 12 Eastern. Please hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for all alerts for more updates as this case is wrapping up. There are still many questions we're going to break down for you, so don't miss out. In fact, I'll put the live stream right there on the left. We may be live while you're watching this right now. If not, hit remind me. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching here on Popcorn Planet.